Hello, friends. So, I've been asked lately a lot about my live setup with Loopy Pro, especially in relation to Loopy Pro and using it with an Allen&Heath CQ series mixer as audio interface and a VD Master Nectar Pacer with a VD Master Bluetooth MIDI device. With Loopy Pro. And the thing is, the big interesting part about this is that you don't have to use an USB hub anymore. You have just one connection from your mixer to Loopy Pro, to the iPad, and so Loopy Pro, and can foot control the stuff. And it works marvelously great. It really works really great. And I just want to show you how it works and how I have set up everything. I will guide you how I through all the stuff. I have set it up, and I will make it as short and informative as possible. I hope so that I get it right. And that's it. I hope you can hear me because I didn't check if the mic is working properly in this way. So first, my signal path is like this. I go from the into the wah-wah, from there to the Silktone, Megabyte, Golden, Lex, Tremolo from Supro, the great Deluxe 55 from Original Effects, which I use actually as my amp, into the aux stump, and there into the Polytune, and then out to my mixer. Let's get started. Okay, we have here a very simple one loopy setup. As an example instrument, we have the Ableton Move, not Push, and the Allen&Heath CQ 12T, if I'm not wrong. So what I did, we have the Move connected to the six channel. And what we're doing now, we go configuration, inputs, channel 6. So we have to do gain. So let's hit auto set. Then we are making a little bit of noise till he's happy. So happy. We have the gain set. Now we need to get into the channel and get up to hear something. Good. So we have our instrument working fine. What we are doing now, we have connected with an USB B, if I'm not wrong, to USB C going directly into the iPad. This is the audio interface connection. So first things first. First, we have the Move going. What we have to do now is getting it into Loopy. So as you can see, maybe we have all these channels available from the Allen&Heath. One very important thing in this setup is that you are switching off the monitoring in Loopy Pro, because you get the instrument over the mixer itself, so you don't have to monitor it over Loopy, which will have a little bit latency. This will have phase issues and blah blah blah. However, now we have to get this out to Loopy. And one thing that I do to group instruments, because let me explain. I do beatboxing and I do this percussion stuff with Move and so on in one loop or a few loops, and I have guitar and bass with my hybrid guitar into another loop. This has the thing is that I can, for example, record on one loop bass and guitar at the same time while I'm singing without getting my vocals into Loopy. This is a great thing. And the thing is, I group them like guitar, bass into one thing and vocals and percussion into another channel. This is enough for me. The way I do it is like this. I go to the processing, sense, and let's use out one. This is the aux, this here. The aux outs. I use them and go just to 0 dB. And then I go into configurations, outputs, aux 1, make it post fader. This is important because if you mix with this mixer and you switch it to post fader, you can be sure that the loop will be always the same as loud as what you're playing. If you have configured everything in the right way. So now we have the out one to post fader. Now we have to get this out, this aux out into Loopy. The point is, I can route as many channels as I want to this out and get them summed into Loopy. This is the cool thing. So we have to get this one here. We're going to the USB configuration. And now you have the channels 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, 16. Sorry, I was just watching if I'm recording at all. Okay. And what I do, I put out 1 and 2, so aux 1 and 2 to 11 and 12. Now, if I have done everything right, and I switch this input to 11, I should get, yeah, so here is my signal. Fine. If I do this and I record something, you're hearing nothing, of course, because you need to get it back into the mixer. What you can do, I just, I have not the right word. I use the analog inputs. You can switch them in the configuration input. Let's use the first channel. And we can switch this. Let me pause this. This is making me crazy. You can switch the channel here, the first channel, from analog input source to USB. And now we have USB 1 as input source for the channel 1. Now, this loop, if you would know a little bit about Loopy Pro, you have the orange, and this is the orange channel. You get to the output and put it to 1. So you are getting audio from the 11 as input, which is our aux out, and we sending the looped signal at channel 1. This is here. So if we have done everything right and I start again, we get our input, which looks pretty good. And then if you go up here, we have our loop. So it's working. And this is great because you can do this, like I said. You can sum the stuff. You can make another aux channel for the guitars, for example, or however you want to set it up. And you have complete control over everything because you have the loop in a separate channel. But if you leave it here, you have it the same loudness as the input source, which is great. So now, like I said, I use the VD Master Pro, which is MIDI over USB. I was concerned that it has too much latency, but it's not the case. You don't feel the latency. I can't feel it at all. They say it's something like 3 milliseconds or something like this. I don't know, but I want to challenge anyone who say he can feel the difference of 3 milliseconds while making loops. I can't, and I would take every bet that nobody can, because it's hard enough to get a more or less round loop at all. So, but the thing is, you can go to the, you know what I mean. However, the MIDI connection. And if you have the MIDI master connected via Bluetooth to your iPad, you get MIDI from the MIDI master. And I have the MIDI master, of course, in my Nectar Pacer. And we are on MIDI mapping. So I go to this loop. He's listening for an event. So I hit a switch. Chip. And now he has CC4 on, and that's it. And if you're now using it this way, you can't see my foot, of course, but I'm switching the Nectar Pacer. And you have a loop, which is pretty fine. And that's how I do it. And this has the big bonus of not having to use an shitty, awful, devil-made USB hub, which are in my case and in my however, they are not reliable. They are just not reliable. And USB cables are not reliable too, but you have to use them. And this way, you just have one connection to your iPad. Less parts, less failure. So, I hope you had fun with the video. I hope you understood what I was trying to tell you and show you. And yeah, if you like my content, this stuff, consider to subscribe, especially because I will make a similar video in a few days about another setup, which I very likely will use in the future, which is pretty similar, but different. It incorporates an Boss RC600, and this is especially interesting for people who are coming from the Boss RC600 and want to try Loopy Pro. And it's even more, for me it was a big enlightening, it is even more interesting for people who are struggling to find the right audio interface for Loopy Pro and MIDI controller. So, stay tuned. I hope you like it and have fun. Have a good one.